it's possible that here's somebody, there's Alicia. Hi, Alicia, are you freezing up there?
Yes.
Our low tomorrow is supposed to be -1.
Ooh,
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she's all wrapped up.
Sure.
Yeah, somebody else joining, Suzanne. So
I don't think I want that.
I think I will share the screen and walk you through. I'm assuming maybe we'll just open it up. Questions? I have not graded things yet, but hope to get caught up tomorrow. But definitely by the end of Friday, I will have everything graded. You have a meta-analysis that's due and an outline that's due soon. So you'll get feedback on those, I hope, by the end of Friday, but definitely by the end of the weekend. And
Our outline isn't due until Monday, right?
yes,
Okay.
yeah. So I'll have some people still have the quasi-experimental and experimental critiques that they turned in late that I have to grade. And so this Friday, I'll get caught up with everything that was due before for this week. And then next week, before I leave town, get the rest of everything up graded. So you have the feedback. Going into, definitely want the feedback for your paper and then the meta-analysis assignment. I'll get you feedback. So let's start with opening it up to any questions that people have. And then I'll go to the share screen and walk you through what to do for the analysis assignment 2 and 3. So questions? I'm still getting lots of email questions on what you should be using for the outline. And I feel like we talked about this in intensives and we've talked about it on each one of these, but let's just repeat. If you are doing a quality improvement project, you're probably going to use the Squire guidelines, and the link to those and every other kind of research study are on that page that we visited during intensives. So if you go to the module with intensives, and I can share. Oops, okay. Okay, we'll try this again. Okay, so you should be able to see my course on your screen. If you go to modules, if you go to the second week, that was intensives. Evaluating research reports. This talks you through the rules of thumb. And then the very next these were all the guidelines for reporting the types of studies. And these are the guidelines that you're going to pick. So if it's quality improvement, you're going to use Squire. If it's an economic evaluation, you're going to use Cheers. If it's an RCT, it's Consort. If it's observational, you just pick. These are the criteria, and that helps you develop your the categories for your outline. And then in the outline, you're going to give me as much detail in bulleted form that you currently have so that I can give you meaningful feedback. So you want to, it doesn't have to be complete sentences. The spelling and grammar doesn't matter. It's just bulleted, but as much detail as you currently have so that I can give you feedback on what you're planning to do. So questions about that?
I don't think I've been as succinct as bulleted. Is that okay, or do you definitely want bulleted?
No, it doesn't matter. Absolutely don't give me a finished paper. This is just an outline. But but the format can be as informal or as formal as you want, but definitely it's just, are you missing any categories, and is your plan a good one? So that I can give you feedback on the that will be useful for your paper. So yeah, so the real purpose of the outline is to get meaningful feedback so that you can get the very best grade on the paper. So if there's no questions on that, and I'm going to click out of this. So again, this was in the modules with the intensives. Oh, and I went all the way out, which I didn't mean to do. So, are there other questions about the outline or the paper that people want to ask? And questions on other assignments? You want to go to analysis number 2? I see one head shaking. Okay, so share. Gotta move you guys over. So if we go to analysis assignment number 2, this one's set up kind of like the previous one, but even easier, I think, because Ollie has actually video recorded step-by-step, taking you through exactly how to do it. So again, you're going to do it in groups. Again, the PhDs are going to do the analysis, and the DNP and PhDs are going to work together on the interpretation. And then the DNPs for this particular assignment, it's an animal study, which is how much of medical research starts with studies in animals. So this was an animal study, and what you're being asked to do is speak to how these findings might possibly be translated to a human population. So if we think there's a reason or a value to actually doing the work in humans, we have to have some rationale for why we think these findings that they found would be meaningful in humans. So that's the fourth part of this, or the fourth question. So once again, you're going to go to the module. And this one is the general linear model. And as you look at this home page, it kind of walks you through. So there's the, oops. Here's the lecture on GLM. And then you're going to do the activity. So you're going to listen to this. Then you're going to go to the data file. And it's all linked here on this home page, but it's also separately in the module if you prefer to do one piece at a time. So
as in it's all in also a PDF form as well. I've looked at a lot of it, but I haven't gone through and compared.
yeah, so let me see if I can do this without.
I just wanted to make sure, because I know we were flipping back and forth a lot with the video and then the PDFs and.
Yeah, so if you go here to the previous page. So this is your module overview, and it links you to everything. But if you prefer, you can just go to the module. And once you've done the overview, you can also link to it. So here's also the separate links. So this is going to be the link to the voiced PowerPoint or the video that he's created.
Okay.
And then there's signal detection theory. It's a little more walking you through. Then there's the assignment. There is the data separate. And this only opens in SPSS. So the unless you've purchased SPSS, you kind of have to just rely on the PhD students to give you their printout. Oh, I didn't want to do that. I always hit the wrong one. And then underneath that is a PDF that I've created that is a step-by-step how-to. So you have really two ways. Go ahead and watch the theoretical concepts behind this and listen to those voice PowerPoints to YouTube. And then he has walked you through in a video, step-by-step, how to do it. And then there's also a cheat sheet. So if you like more of the cookbook where you just follow the steps, that's also here. This is how to recode the variables, and this is how to do ANOVA. And these again are just like little cookbook PDFs walking you through step by step. It's got screenshots, it highlights which column you're after. So if you work better with the video, showing you it, you know, in moving real time, or if this step by step works, they both walk you through. But you do have to have SPSS to actually complete this assignment.
Funny, I liked how I liked having both the video and the PDF to walk through the first analysis. I thought that was really helpful.
That came from feedback from students in the past, so I'm always happy. If you guys have good suggestions, I'm always happy to add, because some people listen to it, watch it, then they can go do it. Other people can use just the step-by-step. Some people like both, so they watch the video and then they pull up the cookbook and then they plug it in. So however works for you is fine with me. And there was another good question last time about, what happens to the DMPs if somehow the analysis printout that they get from the PhD student isn't perfect? That's okay. What you get graded on for that question is whether or not you interpreted what you've got correctly or not. So if the calculation's not right, then there will be a point taken off, or part of a point taken off around whatever is wrong in the calculation. But if the interpretation of the number you got is correct, you get full points for that. And I should have explained that before, because that's a valid concern.
That's helpful, because as the only PhD student in my cohort, I worry very much about giving them the correct data. And when we're ready to transition, and it may not be right now, but I do have a question about the file drawer analysis. I want to make sure that I did that correctly.
Okay.
When you're ready.
To give you props, Suzanne. As a member of your group, I appreciated your guidance, and we worked through it together, and we were all in agreement, and it was very helpful to do that, because as a DMP, especially just having taken the inferential statistics course this summer, it helped me conceptualize to work it through with her, and to have her kind of explain how she got where she did, and then we were all in agreement. So I think this has been really valuable group work, to have the two groups working together.
So Suzanne was,
and even to know too, I mean, you know, it gave me a real sense of responsibility, in the sense that as a PhD, when we do this research, you know, you always want to be able to have your correct numbers, but in some way, just being the only PhD student in the group made me even more so realize how important it is when you're giving someone information and data. I mean, it has to be absolutely correct. So thank you, Rachel. You guys have been great to work with, and it's really been a true great a team effort, Bonnie, on this. So I'm grateful.
and, Bonnie, I just want to chime in on that, because I'm in the same group. Suzanne, I feel like, really participated all the way through, and so she did a lot of pre-work, but then she was very open, and you know, we had a lot of good conversations back and forth, and she very meticulously went through the whole process and let, you know, kind of like Rachel and I jump in and figure some things out, and it was much more useful, but I feel like it's been very labor intensive for her, but she's been very patient and a good teacher. So
this is really helpful feedback to us, because as you guys know, it's the first time we've done this, but our hope is that you see the value in working together. And I know from my own experience of doing this for a very long time, I can't do it without my clinician experts. So the value to us is just as great as vice versa. So I think that's what we're hoping you're going to get from this. But we do also recognize that it's also a challenge in coordinating schedules, and I share the angst you were feeling, Suzanne, when you sent that email, like, oh my gosh, I don't want to be responsible for a mistake. So absolutely understood that and as you probably already noticed, if there's any part of it that you're in the right direction, I give you partial credit. Because this is new. This is a new experience for all of you. So I'm hoping that the other groups are having a positive experience as well. I cannot answer the file drawer question until everybody submitted that. And unfortunately, I don't have them all in yet. So
can we ask one question, a general question about it? Because we were confused in watching the video, and maybe Suzanne, I don't know.
Sure. In watching the video, it looked like there was the calculation on the Excel when you plug in the actual value points, the data points themselves. It calculates in the Excel. But the other Excel, which gave directions, indicated that file drawer, the failsafe end, we need to use SPS for. And I wasn't able to find it in SPS, and I thought it was on the Excel. So I'm confused on which mode to use.
Yeah, I'm sorry if there was confusion. I think I will double check just to clarify, but you should be able to just plug it into the Excel.
Okay, so we're going to use the number that generated after we plugged in the rest of our variables.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Then we will submit shortly after this conversation.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to circle back on that conversation because my group met, I don't know, 4 times, several times, for hours, several hours, as a matter of fact. And I honestly will tell you that even when we submitted after spending, I think collectively well over 40 hours on this assignment, kept going from one resource to another resource to another resource, and just found a lot of contradictions in the resources, and we're just confused. And we finally got to the point where we're like, this is the best we can do with what we have. We followed the paper. You had told me to follow the paper. Mm-hmm. And so that's what we submitted with. But I have to tell you, it would be good to kind of fine tune it because it was really a confusing assignment. And we may be the only group, but that's how we sat with it. So
well,
I don't know if everybody else
once I look at them all, Alexis, it would be really good if you and I could chat maybe separately, just so that I can catch all the places where you got hung up. Because it is not my intent at all to make this tricky or difficult or unclear. So if there's ways we can iron it out, that would be great. And I would very much appreciate the opportunity to clarify with you.
Great, thank you.
So that'd be
That's
great.
perfect.
Yeah, so let me just get everybody to get it in, and then we'll get.
I think we thought it was pretty clear, but I think being a novice at it, of course, making mistakes. And I was so grateful for my colleagues, Rachel and Elisa. They're like, no, I think you misinterpreted it. I think it was this way. And I was like, oh, after reading it again, you're right. It was supposed to be this way. So I think it was clear, but to the novice, for me reading it, I was grateful to have
I agree. I think we
have you guys.
We caught a couple nuances that could have been interpreted differently, and so we just changed our mode of thinking and really thought, okay, conceptually, does that make sense? And it didn't, so that made us backstep and recorrect. And when we course corrected because it didn't make sense, and we're like, this doesn't make sense. Why doesn't it? And just looking back, we found the mistakes that a novice would make. And I think, like Suzanne said, that just made it click for us. And once it clicked, thankfully, we had each other to bounce ideas off of and kind of work together with. But after that, I hope it was pretty smooth sailing. We'll wait till we get our assignment back to make that conclusion.
We were all going through the little sources saying, wait, no, here it is. And but if Suzanne hadn't been really open and willing to sort of teach us, she wouldn't have been open to hearing that, I'm not sure about that. So that it was really good experience.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Right.
Yep.
Okay, good. Good feedback. So shall we go to the next? I think number 3 might be due before I'm back in town as well. So shall we look at that one? Any other questions on 1 or 2?
Not
I don't
yet.
know how much I'll retain if you go to number 3, but we can give it a whirl. I think we have one more before that one's due, one more Zoom, but I could be mistaken.
Number 2?
Oh no, number 3 is what I'm saying.
No.
I can take a peek.
So number 2, we just kind of briefly talked about.
Right.
And he walks you through exactly how to do it. And you're going to use that SPSS file to do the analysis. And then you're going to use those same sheets to help you with interpretation. So the outline is due November 4th. And this assignment is due November 18th. And then let's see, I guess we have a call before number 3. Let's see. Yeah, we have a call on the 18th. So we can talk about 3 then. So what other questions do you guys have that we should talk about tonight?
Will you tell us again when you will be out of town so that we will not be bombarding you with emails? I'm sorry, I should have written that down.
No, that's fine. And I'm sorry that this is happening.
Okay.
So last week I was presenting at the Council of Advanced Nursing Science and then the Academy meeting. The one coming up is my niece's wedding, and I won't have access to internet, I don't think. So I'll be gone from the 8th to the 15th.
Great, thank you.
And it'll probably take me a couple days to get caught up, but I promise I'll get back to you. Because I know you'll have stuff due and you'll be.
We will not panic.
Yeah, none of us. We all promise not to panic. So questions on, have you given thought to the paper other than the outline? Are there questions? That's probably something, I think I've said this before, but my advice is to spend some time on that because it's more points than any other assignment. So that proposal's not due till December 2nd, but it's 20% of the course grade. So I'll give you lots of feedback on the outline as far as, what details to include. But know that the methods is 10 full points. So you're really going to want to spend some time talking about the methods. And for the DNP students, this might be a little more depth than you're used to, but really you want to describe the subjects and what are your measures going to be and are they reliable and valid, and then what are your procedures. So they're all important steps, just asking you to really think through. And the data management and analysis piece, it may be very different than what the PhD students are proposing, but run it by your advisors, whoever's advising you in the project. If it's just run charts, that's descriptive statistics, and that's fine. I don't know how I get all these pop-ups, but but I do. Um, So I would just say, if you have questions as you're working on that paper, go ahead and ask, because that's it's a chunkier grade. And for the PhD students, you should be doing this sort of in collaboration or consultation with your mentor, your chair, and your advisors as well. So, and I know some of you are tweaking it a little different than what you're actually going to do for your dissertation, and that's fine. If it's a totally different project and you want to run the analysis by me, that's fine too. Just make sure you get feedback so that you get the most possible points. Any other questions? Okay, well, stay warm if you're somewhere cold, and gloat in your 70-degree weather if that's where you're at.
It's so fickle here. It was 80 yesterday, and then it's going down back into the 30s. So
Yeah, it was actually gross and humid yesterday morning.
that was nasty, wasn't it, Lisa?
Oh, really?
Yes. So, I mean, if you want to hear the whole truth of it.
I agree.
Well, let me know if you have questions as you're working on things, and I will try to be as quick as I can about grading and getting the feedback to you.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.